welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, real quick reminder, I do have quite a few different workshops that I'm going to be holding very, very soon. If you'd like to learn about energy, the way I work energy, how to efficiently work energy, how to keep yourself safe, how to address all kind of different problematic energetic situations in your life, these workshops, chef's kiss. I'm saying, I don't know how to say it. What deck am I going to use? This one, this one, this one. Mm-hmm. What? Okay. We'll use these. So I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is changing the way you see things. Ooh. So, thank you for the reminder, Lindsay. You guys, let's check. Let's check. Okay, here goes. So I do still have the petition going. I was thinking earlier today that I should send out that petition either by tomorrow or Friday, maybe Monday, since it's the start of a week. But we are at 436 signatures. This is amazing. Thank you guys so much for the support. I'm going to go ahead and post an update on the petition link, on the petition page. I have merch that I'm going to be rolling out to raise funds for the continuation of the legal war that has ensued because clownery doesn't understand law. Yeah. Ooh, this Natalie. Ooh. Which flavor did you like the most? Natalie ordered our vegan breads, our vegan artesian breads. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Someone else ordered as well. And well, there were quite a few people that ordered, but someone else that had ordered was talking about they just felt basically euphoric. Love it. Love it. We had a whole discussion about it in the Soul Sanctuary exclusive chat space. It was amazing. I love when people get the bread and they're like more than just pleasantly surprised. Ooh, they're both amazing. Yay. Yay. Okay, let me get the cards ready because I got a bunch of stuff lined up for today that I need to take care of. So we're going to try, and thank you for the compliment, Natalie. Have an amazing team, an amazing baker. Ooh. Okay. Did you have the fairy berry with or without the citrus glaze? I mean, and for those who don't know, the breads are made completely from scratch from all natural ingredients. Okay. I'm saying they have no preservatives. That's why we can't ship international. They have no preservatives. They're just amazing. And the fact that they're all vegan, but how did we do that? Grain-free, gluten-free, vegan. I'm saying. Y'all got to try it out. Okay, I already pulled that. If you guys want to try it out, thank you, Lindsay. The link is in the comments. You go to soulworksynergistics.com. It's in our store, and we have a whole bunch of different types of breads. I actually have a few flavors that I want to roll out. I just haven't had time to. It's like there's just not enough hours in the day. I swear. It's been a very productive day for me already, though. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Oops. Going through the same things. Okay. Are you guys ready? I'm ready if you're ready. I'm ready even if you're not. We're going to start. Oh, that is tart, like my attitude. Love it. Love it. Okay. Ooh. All right. There are things that are being hidden. Now, I see that card and I'm wondering, are you hiding the reality of something from yourself? Right? Are you hiding the reality of the situation that you're in? Maybe not just the situation that you're in, but also the gravity of your part in that. Like the gravity of how powerful you are, because really, without your consent, situations can't continue, right? Sometimes we give consent unintentionally by participating. Sometimes participation comes in the form of us simply reacting, responding, giving some type of credence to a circumstance by giving it attention, right? So there's something that's being hidden. And I am again wondering, is it you doing the hiding the reality of how powerful you are in that situation, right? I think for many of us, we enter into this space of thinking that we have no control and no power. Excuse me. No control, no power over the things we experience. That's not true. It's not. Now, I will say that we do often experience things that cause us to feel like we have no say, no power, but you have a say. You have power. You have the ability to either perpetuate that circumstance, that struggle, which most of us don't realize what we're doing is perpetuating it, or you can choose to completely halt it by shifting your focus, shifting the way you see. And as you shift the way you see, you then begin to shift the way you experience things and the way it all plays out, right? So, concealment, what are you hiding from yourself? I think with what we hide from ourselves, it gives us a sense of lack of security. Like we can't possibly be safe or protected because there's ugly things going on. There's a lot of ugly things that go on in my day to day that I don't allow to bother me. It's just no, no. People being nasty, you're a nasty person then. Ain't got nothing to do with me. People saying nasty things, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. That says more about you than it does about me. And it's no loss if people listen to the bad mouthing a nasty person does about you. It's not a loss to you because those are people who have either zero ability or desire, willingness to see the goodness that you are. That's not a loss. It's the equivalent of the trash taking itself out. That's exactly how I see things. Like if someone's going to say something horrendous about me and it's just rooted in their opinion, not an objective reality fact-based type of thing. mm, For far too long, we spend so much of our time, our energy, our focus on worrying about what other people think of us. Habibi, you will not be able to dictate, control how someone else sees you, regardless of how hard you try, how much goodness you do. When you are dealing with someone who is incapable of seeing clearly the reality of who you are, because they are so committed to the lie they've told themselves, this entire story about you. I mean, really, you're not going to change that. You're just not. You're not. It's okay to come to terms with it, right? It's okay to initially feel frustrated, to initially feel like slighted in some way. Um It's really this thing of, I want you to get to a place within your journey where you're beginning to understand the gravity of who you are. What I've learned from my own journey is that when I'm faced with the people who do these things, who behave in this way, where they are very, not just lacking the ability to support you, be supportive of you because you exist, right? They also go out of their way to be nasty to you. I've learned that that's really has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. And I need to just focus on continuing being the person that I am. As long as I know that I always conduct myself with integrity, especially when no one is watching, and that I am a good person, that I go out of my way to be supportive of the people that I care about, that's all I need to know, because I'm not here to um, reach some level of perfection to prove to others that I'm worthy of what their adoration. It's okay if other people don't adore me. It's absolutely okay. I have no problem with it. It has more to do with me reaching a point where I love myself. And if you can reach that point where you're realizing the amount of love you show yourself is maybe not enough because you've been dividing your attention between your needs and other people's preferences, it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't make you stupid. It just means you are a kind hearted person and you need to begin learning the lesson that your kindness must first be shown to yourself before you extend it to others. It's a very healthy way to exist in elevations of kindness. Far too much. The kindest people are kind to everyone except themselves. I know a large percentage of our community struggles through this, where you have absolutely no problem, no struggle with being kind to others. But the moment you're tasked by your soul to be kind to yourself, it becomes very difficult, very challenging, becomes dang near impossible for some of us. I know for me, when I get into that mindset, it becomes almost impossible, like the most difficult task. So we have to begin changing the way we see. This is not something you are calling to you. This is something that's already drawn to you. This lesson, this circumstance, it's something that your higher self is bringing to you naturally because you're ready. You are ready to learn this. You are ready to experience the life experiences that will help to shift the way you see yourself and what you deserve, what you should allow yourself to receive. So, protection, that circle of protection. You are protected. You are. There are times where your higher self, your soul, will allow things to occur, things um, that are perceived as quite possibly a result of a lack of protection, when in reality, it's not a lack of protection. It's a need, an invitation to experience the type of life circumstance that will help to cultivate your perception. Okay. You're being asked to experience whatever this is to reestablish your sense of balance. It's going to bring you to a space of being centered within your life, within your existence. The difference between being centered and being balanced is the focus. When you try to balance, your focus is on trying to kind of make sure that you carry the opposing sides, the positive and the negative, the light and the shadow, whatever opposing polarities you're dealing with. You're trying to balance it, and you're going to continue to, have to put effort into that, right? When you instead make it a point to focus on finding your space of center. I mean, if you guys know how to ride a bike, you know that once you learn where your center of gravity is, riding a bike is so easy. You never forget it. You're just balanced, unless something, sideswipes you. right? Unless you're not paying attention and you run something huge over, or you go over terrain that your bicycle and your skill set is not capable of handling, you're not going to fall. You're not going to falter. So that's a difference between balance and centeredness. Once you place enough effort to achieve this understanding, to earn this understanding of where a center point is for you, you don't have to do that work again. You know where it is. You'll never forget where it is. And no matter where life draws you to go within your space and your perception, you'll always know how to get back to center. As a matter of fact, the more life pulls you out of your space of center, the more pronounced, the more developed your ability to refine your center becomes. It becomes easier and easier and easier. What would sometimes take you an entire year to find your way back to center, given enough time and experiences, opportunities to practice finding center, it could be something where take you a day, a couple hours, a couple minutes, and exhale. You know, I know that I've gone through quite a bit in life to practice this, because when I am at the place I need to be with the work that I'm doing, I need to be able to get back to center in just one exhale. For the most part, I'm there, where just the realization is what I need, that I'm not in center, and exhaling and allowing myself to naturally return back to center, right? So there's nothing that you need to cleanse from yourself. You're not filthy. You're not dirty. Whatever secrets you hold within you, if they are not your own, if they are secrets, memories of what other people have done to you, and you feel the shame, it's not for you to carry someone else's luggage. Whoever did whatever they did to you, that is their shame to carry. So put the luggage down. Put the luggage down. You are not dirty. You are not tainted. You are not any of those things. You are a beautiful emanation of an individuated consciousness. Your existence was co-signed by God. Never allow some human with flawed logic, distorted perception, never allow that flawed human to convince you successfully that you are less than what you are created to be. The way you see yourself is powerful, because the way you see yourself is what will give you the willingness to allow people to treat you in whatever way they want. Although I don't see myself as better than others, I see the gravity of me and what I deserve. Because I see that now, I'm less willing to allow the foolery that people try and force upon me. Not everything will get a reaction or a response, at least not externally. The moment I sense the things I need to sense, okay, nope, you're out. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, Emmy, that people are going to think I'm better than them. No, they already think you're better than them. That's why they're trying to tear you down. Your existence already offends them, because your existence shines a light on their shortcomings just because you exist. Just because you exist. Are you wrong for existing? Remember, human logic is flawed logic. Are you saying you know more than God because God breathed you into existence? Did you say or think that God made a mistake co signing your existence, authorizing for you to come into fruition? I'd say God knows whatever God knows, and I don't know what that is. So I'm going to have to just trust that my existence counts for something. For what? I don't know. Do I need to know? Not really. Not really. But I do need to work on allowing my existence to be uninterrupted by the opinions of lesser beings, including myself, because there are times where we ourselves are the lesser being. Because it's not uncommon for me to be faced with a very loving, very genuine person saying all these beautiful things about me to me, right? And then it's difficult for me to believe that. It's difficult for me to accept that, whoever is being honest. Like when someone tells me that I'm a good person, that I'm so supportive, that I have positively impacted their life in some way, um, that I've empowered them, these really beautiful, very humbling things. It's often very difficult for me to be like, uh, okay. I don't know. This is weird. Like for me, it becomes something where it's like, this is weird, right? Um, so, what have you done that has allowed you to believe that you deserve less than what you actually are being given by creation itself? Because for many of us, we have this belief that we deserve less. Less than what? I don't know. I don't know. Why do you deserve less? What is it that's caused you to see yourself as someone who should not be allowed to be happy, as someone who should not be supported and loved, as someone who thinks that they're better than everyone and therefore that's why everyone doesn't like you? Um, you know, it's this thing where dealing with absolutes, right? Something happens, it's a singular event where say you encountered a rude person who said a lot of hateful things to you, right? And then you transfer it and project it into the entire spectrum of your life where for I'll give you an example. Last year I got into um an exchange with an individual and they said some really hurtful things. And because they were a friend at the time, they were, um, I went ahead and I took what they said, which was designed to be as hurtful as possible. That was the intention, to hurt me as much as possible. And I went ahead and I applied it to everyone that I love. And it's like, everyone thinks this. Everyone is sick of me. Nobody likes me. But is that true? Maybe for that one person who said it, maybe. Or maybe even they didn't mean it. They just said it to be hurtful because they got triggered. Um, Regardless, I went ahead and I took that singular event and I applied it in a broad spectrum manner to my entire life, to everyone I know. Like, you know what? Everyone just tolerates me. I'm so difficult to deal with. And all kind of crazy shit that I immediately was triggered to begin thinking that way, right? And it took someone who cares a conversation with them like that's not me. And you can't tell me who I can love, who can be my friend. That's what they were saying to me. And then because there's enough love and trust in that connection, that person basically was like, I'm saying this out of love. I'm not trying to kick you while you're down, but I notice a pattern. I noticed that when someone hurts you, it's like you make this assumption that everyone wants to hurt you and they're just waiting for the opportunity to, paraphrasing, of course. And knowing that that individual who said that to me um, is not a malignant person is very genuine, very real, very authentic, right? And they were coming from a place of love. I was able to receive that. And it was able to change the way I see, right? When I changed the way I saw things because someone came to me from a space of love and helped me to understand what they were observing. And it was not expressed in an accusatory or hypercritical way. It was just like, I'm coming from a place of love and I hope this doesn't upset you, but I have to say what I'm observing, right? And because that's how it played out in that conversation, a process that would have probably, I mean, knowing how I am, the amount of emotions I was feeling before that conversation with another friend, I probably would have went into like this depressive spiral. Well, that probably would have took me several months to exit out of. Months. And that's progress. Typically, if I enter into a depressive spiral, I'll be there for years. Not even joking, for years. Um, and, I thought I had made progress by reducing that to just mere months. It's been a long time since I've been in any type of depressive spiral. But knowing how I am, I knew it was going to take months, right? That's what I was giving myself time to process, months worth of depression. And that one single conversation where they, out of a space of love for me, were able to change the way I see things because they shared what they were seeing. I mean, an hour. It took me an hour. And there was no depression. An hour. Sometimes what the people need from you that you love is by simply holding a space so authentic and so raw that you could just share without condemnation, without any accusatory energy, any hypercriticalities, um, just what you observe. I'm very lucky to have the people that I have in my life. Very, very lucky because these are the people who will hold me accountable in the most beautiful, most gentle of ways, just by sharing what they've observed. If you're not able to observe your life in a very objective manner where you're not able to, at the very least, diminish, if not completely eliminate, the accusatory manner with which you speak to yourself, the derogatory condemnation type internal monologue, because there's no dialogue going on. It's just a monologue, you berating yourself. I hope that you at least have one person who can speak so loudly in a whisper that you hear the truth of who you are, right? Everyone needs at least one. Everyone needs at least one. Just one. Just one. um, Many people don't have that. And I hope that the videos I create for you guys can be that one where, regardless of what I'm intending to communicate, you are able to receive messages from your soul in such a way that I can be that one who speaks so loudly, even in a whisper, the truth of what you need to hear and see and accept about yourself, right? You deserve stability. That stability comes when you stop removing the very things that keep you stable. Let's face it, not all of us have really good balance. I know I don't. I tried to learn skateboarding using my mother's walker. That was not a good idea. That was not a good idea. I almost hurt myself more. Um, the reality is, if you are not good at balance, you need to allow yourself to have the guardrails, the walker, the whatever it is. You need to let people hold your hand, the people who are not seeking to yank you so that you fall so that they can laugh, right? Anyone who can make a joke out of the way you are struggling through your circumstance is a person who's not worthy of you, myself included. Myself included. I don't hold myself to a degree of perfection that I feel I've never done that even unintentionally, right? Like no, I'm sure I have at some point for someone said or done something that made them feel as though what they're struggling through is some type of joke to me. I'm socially awkward. It's fine. It's not fine that someone felt that way, but I understand that I don't always perceive the things that I say and the way I say it. I don't always perceive it in all of the different ways it can be received, in all of the different filters that are used to receive it, right? Let's face it, you can say something really benign with a very benign intention, and someone could have experienced a trauma that has affected their filter. And so your benign statement is filtered through that and received in a very toxic manner. Like it's hurtful to the person. I mean, you don't have to be held accountable for everyone, right? That distortion needs to be corrected by the person. But to know that you have that type of power to affect someone else's experience, that's important. That's important. I'm not always aware of let's be honest, I'm usually not aware of the way I affect people. I lack that type of awareness. um I'm usually not aware, even at the gym. This one girl who's been like smiling at me, I finally had a full on conversation with her, and it was a nice conversation. She's so nice, I swear. And then in the middle of this conversation, I realized that I took it to a weird place. I realized in the middle of it, we had been talking for quite a few minutes already, that I took that convo into a completely weird ass place. And in the middle of my sentence, I was telling my husband, I was like, I should let you get back to working out. Because I became aware, like, okay, girl, you're taking this to a weird place. And so I was just like, the awareness hit. It's okay. We're all a work in progress. It's okay. So by summer, you are going to remember. Ooh, I love this. I love this. By summer, you'll remember that it's through the shadow that you will emerge as a healer. Massive things are coming. Massive, massive, massive things are coming. Yo. Do you know that it's your wounds that are untended to that block much of your abundance? Because when you have adhesions, when you have scar tissue, scarification in your space, it's very difficult for the energy to flow through there, right? And oftentimes, the darkest things in this world will try and injure you from childhood all the way through your life in the places that um, that your abundance would flow through. That's intentional. I love this. I'm not weird. I'm a Pisces. Stop it. Maybe that's what it is. I will talk to inanimate objects. I'll be like, "Oh, hey, chair. What are you doing? Do you mind if I sit on you?" I have learned to internalize that conversation, but it still occurs. So there's some upside down magic that's trying to make its rounds. Don't enter into that ring around the rosy. No, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Instead, focus on self love, right? Receiving the truth of who you are. Card number 6, 6 being the number of receiving, being a lesser inverted reflection of the 9, 9 being the number of divinity. You are the 6, divinity is the 9, right? 9 plus 6 is 15. 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. So the reality of the relationship you have with divinity is one where you are being asked to receive from divinity the very things that you need in order to realize how divine you actually are. Divinity is beautiful, I'm saying. It's time to toss out the perception of purity. The perception of purity based on human definitions is just illogical, unattainable, unfair, unrealistic. Just, it's a way to force you into a space of conforming and just, it's stupid. Just believe me, it's stupid. Let it go. Let it go. And see, look here. I said, let it go, right? Yeah, there you are trying to hold on so tightly to the growth, failing to realize that as you hold on so tight, thinking that the growth is going to somehow escape, all you're doing is preventing the growth from occurring. Did you know that when you plant a seed, the soil needs to be soil that isn't compacted because seedlings will struggle to go ahead and expand their roots through compacted soil? That's why farmers, commercial farmers, they till the soil, they till the land before they plant the seeds. You got to break up the clumps. Would you guys like a matcha type of bread? Would you guys? What am I? Okay, girl, focus. What the fuck? Seriously, are you into matcha? Matcha tea, green tea, matcha, matcha, matcha. Are you into that? I'm into that. We can be into that together. Yeah, we'll make it happen. I'm saying we'll make it happen. Don't worry. All right. So here you are, wanting to resist, being told not to resist. Here you are, being told to accept yourself, not wanting to accept yourself. Do you want me to grab you and shake you? Is that what you need? Do you need to be shook? Do you need to be shook? I'm sorry. You don't need to be shook. You don't need to be shook. I'll shake you though. You want me to shake you? No, you don't. I get carried away if I play, so don't. Don't invite me to do things like that. Okay, so you're attracting to yourself the things that you need, right? You can attract to your um all right, there is one who sits and stares at the moon being the yin energy, the female feminine counterpart. See, 44, two equals, four is the number of self, two equals standing side by side, perfect reflections of each other. So this is what you're bringing to you. Now, although you're bringing this to you, you're quite possibly You're quite possibly expecting this to be something that is completely devoid of any type of pleasurable something, right? I mean, it's not that serious. I know it irks my husband when I say that, but really, there's nothing in life that is that serious. Even death is not that serious. It's just not. It hurts if you're the one that's left behind. It's sad. It causes you to miss the presence of the person. It's a lot of different things, regrets that you're going to wish you would have said and done. But it's not that serious because every new beginning has an ending as a precursor. Every new beginning has an ending as a precursor, right? Ooh, Pasha. Yes, you absolutely can. You have a custom blend. I love tea. Look at this. Every day. Every day. I just drink tea all day, every day. I don't know what that's about. But yes, absolutely. So, beginnings. Remember, every new beginning has an ending as a precursor because you can't have a new beginning until something ends, right? So, trust in reverse. Mhm. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look, you guys, this is so sad. This is so sad. So sad. It's like it's like a visual representation of the way we hold ourselves. We don't even feel that we're worthy to be inside the nest, right? With the rest of the other eggs, the rest of the other little chickies that are kept so lovingly and safe in that nest. For so many of us, we hold ourselves in such a way where we feel like it's our job to be the very platform that the nest and the chickies and the duck will be on top of. We have to stop with that. That perception of you are lower than the low. It's hurtful. It's a lie. Did I mention it's hurtful? It's a type of violent act that breaks the heart of a soul. To exclude yourself from the very group that you were born to be part of. That's hurtful. So instead, don't make it a goal to be elevated amongst others. I don't think that that's the solution. I don't think that's the solution. You know? I think the solution is the same solution I found for myself. Not seeking to be above and not accepting this natural inclination to be beneath everyone, but finding the perfect place where we're standing shoulder to shoulder as equals. Knowing that I have strengths that you don't have because you have strengths that I don't have, and together we fit beautifully. And because we're not clones of each other, we further empower each other because of the differences in our existence. It's like when you do a dovetail joint. You guys know what that looks like? Okay. I'm telling y'all, I'm into all kind of different stuff. It's just ridiculous sometimes. It is. I like building furniture. So this is a dovetail joint. It creates tremendous strength. Creates tremendous strength. Yeah. Dovetail joint. Dovetails are probably the strongest method of joining two pieces of wood, surface to surface. Yep. It provides considerable mechanical strength because when the joint is assembled, it can't be twisted or racked. This is how we're supposed to fit together. This is how we are supposed to fit together. We are meant to be separate. I am not you. You are not me. That spiritual concept of all is the self, it's like, um, that was spread for a reason. It's to cause you to reject the parts of you that make you different. It's a draconian program. It's used to justify the maltreatment because, oh, what I'm doing to you, I'm doing to myself. I don't give a shit what you do to yourself. If you're a malignant person, I don't give a shit what you do to yourself. You're not going to do it to me because I'm not giving you permission to. I am not you. You are not me. Because if you were me, you'd be able to love with the same depth, capacity that I love other people, even people I don't know. I'm not capable of being malignant towards others, even when they're malignant towards me. So, no, absolutely not. I am not you. You are not me. Because if I was you and you were me and we were all the same, the world would be a very beautiful place. Clearly, it's not. So now we need to return back to a space of spiritual truth, a truth that's beneficial for all peoples, one where there's space and encouragement to be the unique expression of an individuated consciousness that you are. You are meant to be different from me. I am meant to be different from you. And yet, as different as we are, we're also very similar. Similar, but not the same. Similar, but not the same. There is room for all of us to have varying degrees of differences. That's what creates the nuanced beauty in life. That's what makes life beautiful. The way we are different, the way that I am not you and you are not me. And we don't have to agree, but we do have to be mutually respectful, even in disagreement. I will say, in the past, I want to say maybe since my mom passed, um, yeah, I'd say that's so that is such evidence of my healing because I'm not counting how many days. It's been a couple of years. So since she's passed, I will say that it's been disappointing for me personally that I've allowed myself to mirror other people's ugliness because I'm realizing I was done being the nice person, being the evolved one. I kind of was angry about the way things happened, the way my mom exited. I was a bit angry, a bit, a lot angry. Um, and it was that unrecognized grief, the need to grieve that I never gave myself the permission to do. Uh, it was that. It took a while for the anger to be recognized as the anger that it was, an unspoken grief. But when I did realize that, which was just a few months back, I realized I had been conducting myself in such a lower reflection of who I'm capable of being. And that's a work in progress for anyone, not just for myself. It's a work in progress. When we allow ourselves to recognize we are working on something, we don't have to pretend that we've mastered it. We're in the process of learning to be the master of our own emotions, our own experiences. It changes the way you see things. Because for a while, I was thinking, feeling, believing that I have an attitude problem. I don't have an attitude problem. I have a problem allowing myself to stick up for myself and say the things that need to be said because I'm aware I can reach levels of you just by speaking that no one else can. So, really, outside of this being a process of me mastering loving myself, this is also part of a process of me understanding how to responsibly wield the abilities I have. No, I've never been irresponsible with my abilities, but I have convinced myself to hold myself to a standard that's unrealistic, unfair, unsustainable, unrealistic, and so far from divine that I soft slap, right? I know a lot of us have lost or feel the loss of people we love. We haven't actually lost them, though. They just entered into the space of the precursor for a new beginning. It's a beautiful way to see it. It's a beautiful way to see it. Be fearless in what you believe, even if it differs from what I believe. Be fearless in what you believe. Okay? Being fearless has nothing to do with having no fear. Being fearless means as much fear is present, you have twice as much courage to be who you are, to be what you need, all of that. So, walk your truth in reverse. For some of us, for many of us, we struggle walking our truth because people convinced us that our truth was invalid, right? People convinced us of all of these different things that really, yeah, it doesn't apply to you. It's not your truth. It's inaccurate. It's distorted. All of these different things, right? Integrity. Use your integrity to return you back to your proper place within your life. You belong on the throne, inside the throne room of your heart. Anything less than that is unworthy of you. Your throne in your throne room that's contained within your heart. No one else's. People are going to be like, oh, Emmy's telling us to be better than everyone else. Well, when the world is this shitty, yes, be better than other people so that you can encourage and inspire them to be better versions of themselves as well. Yeah, I'm saying, if the world was this beautiful utopia, truly genuine utopia, then no, you don't need to be better than other people. But when you're more aware, which clearly you are because you're resonating with me, aren't you? It's okay for us to recognize that we're more aware. Because when you allow yourself to recognize the truth of your identity, which is an individual capable of elevations in awareness, you then begin to realize you are obligated to help lead others back to themselves. All the elevations in what I'm capable of doing with energy work, with perception, precognitive, like all these different abilities, it's not to make me better than you. It's to help me remember that I am fully equipped to better serve the people I promised I would serve in this lifetime. Do I know who they are? No, I don't need to know. I just need to follow the guidance of my soul, allow myself to see clearly what I need to do for myself, And that will translate into me living not just my truth, but my purpose. Do you know, to be yourself, you don't have to try. You already are who you are. It's when you try to be this, try to be that, try to be more like so and so. You try and force yourself to be into things that other people are into that don't interest you, but it sounds like those people who are into it are much more advanced. Don't buy into that. Advanced compared to who? Compared to who? Compared to who? Years ago, when I first started doing mentorships, as part of the mentorship, I would give the person um, certain type of information, right? And this information, I would totally let them know, like, okay, so based on the scale of what you are here to achieve, you're at X percentage of what you're here to learn and achieve based on the scale I'm viewing within your Akashic records. So one time I had this person who became demonic, really. Um, I was doing their mentorship and I told them, oh, so you're about at 17, 20-ish percent or whatever it was of what, your power. Your power has nothing to do with my power. Right? So I told them it's something like 17, 20%, somewhere around there. And they're like, where are you at? Not thinking of it, because guess what? I don't compete, compare. I co create. Yeah, I'm not in a compete, compare program. I co create. I empower and support, right? Because we can co create a better reality together. There's no need to compete or compare. And because that's my mindset, I didn't think twice when they asked me a direct question. I said, oh, I'm probably like 2%. For me, I'm at 2%. Well, now I'm probably like at 5%. Like about 5% of my potential. It's still very low, but I've made progress, right? And then this person got it in their head that they are so beyond, like, okay, well, I mean, that's you, that's not me. It's not competition for me. Like, you think whatever you need to think to feel good about yourself. Um, Whatever. But then they use that as a basis of their belief that if they go ahead and attack me, that there would be no repercussions. My 2% is about 700% of yours. Don't even have to try. That's what that person didn't realize. Just because you're humble doesn't mean you're unaware of your strength, your capacity, the gravity of you. I'm very much aware. But again, I don't see my capacity and my gravity as evidence of my superiority. I see it as evidence of my obligation to assist, to empower, to facilitate, to serve. It's not an act. This is literally who I am. It's not an act at all. There's not like live stream of me and then real life of me. Like, you guys see aspects of me that I don't show the general public in real life, because again, I'm a very introverted, very private person in real life. And you're able to see these parts of me because I'm in a room by myself speaking to a little green dot that indicates my camera is on. Will you receive this version of Emmy in real life? Depends. How safe do I feel with you? Are you gonna make it weird? Then I'm gonna feel awkward. Then I'm gonna shut down more. You're probably not. Um, but if there's a resonance there and I feel very comfortable, like I've known you for a long time, and we have similar, not perception, not interests, but similar openness and desire to connect, if that makes sense, right? That'll be chatty Cathy. I swear, you won't be able to shut me up. I might make it weird and say shit that you're like, whoa, what did you just say? Oh, my bad, right? Takes me a while to warm up to people. It takes a very, very special type of person to get me to open up right from the start. Yeah. Takes a very, very special person. I've had people who in person, they don't know who I am. And they shouldn't because I'm a stranger. And they are conversing with the people in the vicinity and they try and draw me into the conversation. And they're like, oh, so what do you do? E-commerce. E-commerce. Oh, like, what do you mean e-commerce? I have a website. Oh, okay. What's your website? Oh, there's stuff on there. I mean, if you were meant, if you are meant to know what work I do, it will somehow come out and you'll be allowed to either find me online or something, or I don't know, but it ain't gonna come from me. It ain't gonna come out my mouth. Not even joking. Not even joking. One time that happened, and I was with two people who know me from online. That's how they found me. And we were in a retail store and they were talking. And they're like, oh, hey, I mean, wouldn't this be a cool place to have like a weekend type of fair, spiritual fair stuff? And they were speaking to the owner. And I was like, yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? And then the owner's like, oh, what do you do? Oh, e-commerce. And the two of them looked at me like, what? It's true. I do e-commerce in addition to other things. I teach and other stuff. And I did not give my website or anything or told them anything. Because again, that's not for me to share with you unless my soul calls me to. It's just not. Very private in real life. Shadow, patience. Okay, I rebound it. Oh, okay. Michael says, can you stop reacting like that whenever you see that card? What? All right. So, shadow self is in reverse. It's seeming like for someone they're in some type of shadow-based learning cycle, right? And as they're learning these things, they're starting to grasp. They're starting to become very aware of how upside down their perception of themselves, their perception of whatever circumstance, their perception period, right? How it's very upside down as well. So, with that awareness, they are going through a process that's nearing completion, that enough change has been allowed to occur. So, okay, first and foremost, let me go back. Shadow self in reverse was card number 28, 2 being a number of guidance, 2, 8, a number of reunification, right? 2 plus 8 is 10, 10 being the number of an awareness that a journey is going to be contemplated soon. So then the next card is card number 25, patience. They're trying to be patient in their process. They're working through whatever traumas that they've been through that has really shifted their perception into a distortion. They're trying to undo that, right? Whoever this could be you, this could be another person, this could be someone from your past, someone you haven't met yet. We don't really know. Michael goes, lies. It's not a lie. This is a general reading. Card number 25, patience. So 2 is a number of guidance, 5 is a number of change. This is a situation where it does require patience, but it's guiding whoever's in this process to that space of change. And as they change, changing the way you see things, they enter into a space of totality, which is 2 plus 5, 7, completion. This this process is almost complete. I'm choking on my own toxicity. It's fine. Okay, card number 21, mirrored souls. Sorry. My bad. Excuse me. So, mirrored souls. For some of you, you're going to be finding yourself. Is there another way to phrase that? I'm repeating what Michael is saying right now. I feel like there's a more politically correct way to phrase that. As I was like, there's a more politically correct way to phrase that. He's like, you're not into politics. True that. Okay. So Michael says, for some of you, you may find yourself face to face with a mirror you need to see the gravity of you. I don't know how that will play out. I don't know with certainty who this mirror is for you. Michael, you give me gas. Go away. Go away. Go away. Shut the fuck up. He's just going on and on now. Okay. Sacred journey in reverse. For many of us, the sacredness of the journey that we're on has lost sight of what it is you're trying to accomplish. There's a lot of things that go on in spiritual communities, and different circles of people that make it so easy to become distorted or just completely forget exactly what it is you're trying to accomplish with your spiritual journey, right? Like, for whoever feels comfortable sharing, what exactly do you think your spiritual journey is doing for you? What do you think the end goal is? What, to reach a dimensional level? Like, too many ego-based logic type teachings. I don't know how to put it. Too much ego-based teachings try and make it this thing of the most logical goal is to reach X dimension, whatever dimensional level, right? Okay, then what do you do when you're there? Why is that your goal? What do you do when you're there? What is the goal of being there about? So that you can be powerful. You're powerful even when you're not there. You know, my system teaches about a structure that I remember exists. This structure gives you the opportunity to reach extremely high levels of frequency without being anchored there. You don't need the key pass. It's your skeleton key. Mhm. So, what is your goal when you're there? If you don't know your goal when you get to that level of dimensional consciousness that you're, making it a mission to reach, why is it your mission? We are taught to perceive in such a small scale way that to see things zoomed out and the full gravity, the full grandeur of creation becomes something so overwhelming for our limited human perception. Do you want my personal opinion? I mean, granted, the whole live stream is my personal opinion, but would you like my personal opinion on my goal for my frequency? My perception on the different ways that a lot of the social media teachings and posts have grievously harmed your perception of yourself? See, not long ago, it was the ultimate goal to be 5D because humans are 3D. Okay, well, if you're in body, you're human. You're also 3D. But there's more than just a physical body, there's a consciousness that resides in the body, not the full thing, just the grain of it. A grain of your consciousness resides in your physical body. To have even a fourth of your consciousness in a physical form, that would wreck your genetics. Do you know why those who have genetic abnormalities, like Down syndrome, are so profound in their sacredness? They are gifts. They embody more soul. That's why their genetics got mutated. They are gifts. Do you know how common it is to have MTHFR, multi-gene mutation? The ones of the highest frequency often have that. They often have autoimmunity conditions. They often have Ehlers-Danlos. Their energy is not compatible with the physical body. So, what am I trying to say? You're listening to the teachings of people who have no idea what they're teaching you. It's keeping you small in your perception of who you are and the gravity you're here for. We're all anchored in 5D. Every single last one of us, even atheists, people who don't believe in spirituality, even religious people, it doesn't matter. We're all anchored in 5D. So now the elitists of spiritual circles are saying 7D. Why 7? The crown, because the 7 chakras and that's a top. And if I told you there are 15 chakras, because there's 15 dimensions, you're still in the physical form at the crown. That's not enough. You want to reach a Christic level? You have to go in through the heart, out the back of the head, atomic doorway, 9th chakra. That's the base. That's the base level. So you can reach levels of awareness of compassion that are necessary to change the world. You want true healing? Base level for that is 12D. That's where your blueprint is not yet distorted. It's still fully intact. There are no distortions. There's no molecular compaction that is affecting etheric gene code expression. So tell me again how you're 7D? Still not high enough. Because guess what? By the time you reach 12D, you're no longer competing, comparing. That's why I say it's not high enough. The fact that you still have to label yourself tells me you haven't gone high enough. The fact that you're still competing, comparing with other people, like, well, what level are you at? What does it matter? That's like, I have this perception, I have this logic, this opinion that if you can still count, keep track of, remember every single person you've helped, you haven't helped enough. You haven't. That's my personal opinion. That's the criteria I use for myself. That's the standard I hold myself to. I don't know how many people I've helped, nor does it matter. I just know there's still too many people that need help, so something has to change. And we need to make that change a reality. We need to bring that change into fruition. I want to create the type of change for this world where being a good person and helping others is not just the norm, but it's so normalized that we no longer call it helping. It's just a way of being. Right? That it becomes part of the human culture. That's like, that is a juicy goal. I'm saying, you know, emotions, your emotions are what's distorting your self-worth. The upside down emotions are what's causing you to see your self-worth in an upside down way. You'll write that back up. You get it right side up. You will. Keep coming around here. I promise you, you will. Because at no point am I going to enable you thinking badly about yourself. And I'm not going to try and convince you that you're better than what you actually are. My goal is to help you see clearly your strengths, your weaknesses, and how beautiful it is to exist as you are right now. That's my goal. Because when we enter into a space of being able to accept ourselves as we are, knowing there's room to grow, knowing there's a history behind us, we really exit out of that compete, compare, and enter very powerfully, consciously choosing to enter into a space of powerful co-creation. Absolutely. So the Blu-ray awakening, it's in reverse. You know what that means? That means we're entering into a space where we are needing to fully let go of a lot of the spiritual teachings we're being taught. I don't want to go so far as to say that all of the things you've learned from other people is erroneous. I will say, though, it's a much more fair, much more accurate statement for me to say about 95-ish% of what you've heard other people talk about is erroneous. What's the solution? To not accept other people's words as absolute truth, but instead to allow their words to trigger the conversation between self and soul. That will get you the opportunity to ask the questions that soul can answer for you internally so that you can decide for yourself what applies and what does not. What I believe is not always what you should believe. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, there's no cookie cutter way to go about this. There's no one person that knows everything. There's no one person that does not have any type of distortion. I have distortion in my perception. There are days where I'm like, people fucking suck. This world sucks. And then there are days where it's like, God, I just love people. I love people. I love the beauty of being allowed to have a human experience with other souls, right? just really experiencing that, being fully present in it, witnessing other people in their process. I mean, you're not expected to be stagnant in one location. You're meant to exist in the ebbs and flows of conscious creation and divine acceptance of what was created without your consent. I'm saying, I'm saying, I'm saying, I'm saying. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. There's an energy. Oops. There's this very profound energy that I'm like becoming aware of, like in this moment. It's a very beautiful essence. It's a very, very beautiful essence. It's like this. I don't know. It's like this. I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know how to quantify it in a way that people outside of the experience would be able to understand what's being experienced. It's like you either feel it or you don't. And Yaya's feeling it. I don't know how to quantify it in a way that can be verbalized to share the experience beyond experiencing it. So, the trap. Be careful about involving yourself in other people's traps. Okay. So this might be the trap of ego. This might be, and when I say ego, it's not always the traditional concept of when ego flares and you're having an inflated sense of self importance. Oftentimes, the people who have the most profound soul purpose, this soul purpose of service, your ego oftentimes is not balanced. You struggle keeping that ego balanced. And that ego, when flared, it's an inverted form. It's an inverted expression, meaning when it flares, you don't feel a sense of hyper importance, inflated importance. Instead, you feel very shrunken down, very small, very irrelevant, very unnecessary in the world, right? How many of you experience that? Just with a show of hands, put your hand up if you experience an ego flare in that way, or when your ego flares, you're feeling like, God, I'm just so, and then you go down this list, a very negative list about yourself. That's because your ego is not broken. It's a regulator. It helps you to always regulate, when needed, your perception of yourself. These are usually the people who, even though it's unrecognized, they have the most profound, most pronounced, most powerful and potent gifts that are to be used to serve humanity. That's why your ego does that. My ego does that too. I've had plenty of people tell me in the past when I was having a very low point, they're like, Evie, you're a big deal. I'm not trying to negate what you're perceiving, but I don't feel like a big deal. They're like, you got to stop playing small. You're a big deal. And it's like, mm, I used to think it was a part of me that was broken and needed to be fixed or needed to be expunged, right? And then I realized, no, I experience those self regulatory moments where my ego will flare. I will feel less than, I will feel extra humbled. And it's not because I said something erroneous or out of pocket and someone put me in my place. No, these just randomly no other human is involved. It's usually just me in my head thinking about all kind of shit. And then it's like, oh my God. And then suddenly I'm feeling less than. And I realize it's because I can never feel more than what I'm here to do. Well, Emmy, I thought you said what you're here to do is profound, global. Yeah, but I still have to develop the level of maturity that would make me appropriate in that capacity. So until I reach that point of an appropriate level of maturity in all its forms to serve in that profound way that I'm aware I'm going to eventually serve, um, I need to check myself. It's usually when I start feeling myself like, "Ooh, girl, badass," and then the ego hits, and it's like, "No, knock that shit off." I'm not even joking. And then I feel less than, and I feel crazy, and I feel all of these negative things, and it's because that's not the direction I needed to go. The healthiest, most balanced perception for me to have is that you are my equal and I am yours. We are shoulder to shoulder in this, knowing we possess differing capabilities at different levels of potency because we are going to function in different ways. And even though we function in different ways, we are all equally important. Because guess what? Guess what? Using the analogy of a car, you think you're the most important because you're the transmission. Okay, transmission doesn't do anything without a steering system. And even if you have the transmission and a steering system, that don't mean shit if you don't have a drivetrain with a transfer case, whatever the hell it's called, that transfers that combustion energy to the wheels. And if you have that and the drive steering system and the transmission, that still don't mean shit if you don't have the axles. No, just because you got a steering wheel doesn't mean you can steer if it doesn't translate to the wheels in some way. And even if it does translate to the wheels, you ain't got no tires. This is not going to do shit for you. You see, there's not one thing on a car that's more important than the other because they work synergistically together. Synergistically together. Same thing with all of us. So in reality, I don't even see myself as humble. I use that word because it's easier for people to understand what I'm trying to communicate when I use the words that are necessary. But I don't even see myself as humble. I see myself as aware. I'm aware that I don't have any importance without you guys. It's just, yeah, it's a mutually beneficial environment. That's how the world needs to be. Toss out those words of humble and blah, 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 blah. Just be aware. Be aware of the equal level of importance of all, the equal needs that need to be equally fulfilled, the equal desire and need to be cherished in a healthy way, not codependent, not obsessive, healthy, healthy, changing the way you see things. Renewal in reverse. So either you're refusing to be renewed because you're still operating from a place of this perception that you are a burden. And if you forego what's being offered to you, that someone else will have it. No, that's not how it works. What's for you is for you. What's for someone else is for someone else. You know, a few years back, I had a conflict with two associates, business associates, right? And it became this thing of, in my perception, they decided to try and make some type of power play because they felt like, I don't know, I was standing in the way of them having my clients, which it's like, okay, let me leave Facebook then. I don't really like confrontation, right? I will if I have to. But if I can find other avenues to utilize to exit out of that, I will. I don't like confrontation very much. Um, and so I left Facebook. For those who are like, why, where did Demi go? How come she's no longer? That's why. That's literally the reason why. I was like, go have the whole platform. Wish you the best. Wish you all of the abundance, whatever it is you're seeking. Let me remove myself out of that equation. Let me go somewhere else and mind my own business. So that's what I did. That's what I did. How did that play out? I don't think it played out in the way they thought. You cannot take from me what is rightfully mine. And if what my soul has gifted me is the opportunity to have a platform, to be heard, to be seen, to be witnessed, you can't take that from me. I can't even reject that at this point. I can't take it away from myself. What is yours is always yours. What is yours will always be yours. There's nothing to fear. Remove that perception that you have to fight to have, that it has to be either or. It can be and. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to fight for it. You just leave your hand open and your soul gives it to you. You don't have to fight for what's yours. Whatever is yours, whether it's a connection, whether it's an opportunity, whether it's money, house, whatever it is, whatever is yours is yours. Literally. And when you don't get the thing you want, you have to begin allowing yourself to shift in the way you see that as, I wanted it, but it wasn't for me. It's not in my best interest. A while back, my husband and I, we viewed this farm. Gorgeous. I'm not even joking. It was so adorable. The way it was like, it was adorable. It was adorable. And it was this thing of like, all right, it's everything I'm looking for, right? There's enough acreage that we can start another. Y'all, I don't know. You're going to criticize me for my parenting. It's fine. We last time we lived at a farm, we created a little Super Mario Kart track for our kids. So you drive around the acres in go-karts. In all-terrain go-karts. And yeah, it was like a little Super Mario Brother track. Dirt track. And so I saw that there was a lot of land, enough for us to have that again. And there was an area for us to maybe also have some animals. And then I was like, my oldest is an adult. I want him to have his own space. He is a music producer and he was bumping his music so loud. I'm supportive. I support it. But it was this thing of like, I'm trying to teach my class. It didn't help that I was right above him. Yeah, we were too close in proximity. But I was like, ooh, there's in the next door barn, which was converted to a pimp ass, something like 6-car garage. There's a 2-bedroom apartment up there. And I was like, he could have that. Oh my God, it's everything I want. And then, so we applied. to rent, not to buy, to rent. And it was within the price range we wanted. And then came all the bullshit. Oh, by the way, that in-law is another $1,500 a month. And we're like, that's fine. That's fine because our son will have his own space. He can have all of his celebrity friends and they don't have to know he lives with his parents. You know, he have his own space, privacy, all of that. That's fine. Tack on another $1,500. And then came all of these other things. And I was like, is this for us? Is this for us? Is this for us? Because then it became this thing of the owner was pitting us against the other applicant. I guess we both had comparable income, credit, all those criteria, pitting us against each other. Well, how soon can you move? I mean, we got to pack a big ass house. It's going to take a while to pack. And they're like, well, they're willing to move by this date, which was like in 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, we're willing to move in 10 days. You willing to do a larger blah, 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 blah? Yes. Yes to everything. And then finally got to a point where it's like, is this even for us? We looked at other properties. And there was one that we were supposed to go to that we missed because it was like a 7-8 hour drive to get there. And since we were already entering into contract, supposedly, with this farm, we're like, why are we going to drive like the 8 hours or so to view a property if we already found one? But because the realtor is amazing, she's like, well, do you want to do a virtual tour? She already drove. We're like, sure. And my husband and I ended up really loving the vibe of that property. It was far less, like half the cost. It was half the cost. There was no acreage. We couldn't make a Mario Kart track. And we still hadn't heard from the farm. So my husband and I, we had a conversation. I was like, listen, are we doing this because we're trying to prove something? Or, I mean, what do we want? And then we both came to the conclusion that we don't even want that farm. It became this competition. We actually love the feel of not just the property we virtually toured, but also the realtor. Really loved her vibe. So we made a decision. We're like, no, the farm's not for us. And we weren't going to contact the farm anymore because we're like, you know what? We didn't put in a deposit. They haven't given us the contracts. We haven't signed anything. So we're good. There's too much back and forth. It's fucking stressful. I don't want to deal with an owner like that. Like, I'm good. And literally within 15 minutes of us having this conversation and feeling very solid in that we are going to downsize and instead choose the other property, the owner messaged us from the farm and was like, we've decided to go with the other person. We didn't care. What is for you will always be for you. And the other property, there were other people who came before us and were being considered before us. They should have had priority. But because all of that stuff that happened with the farm, where we were prepared at that point to move, relocate into a different state in 10 days, we were able to be like, yeah, we can move in 10 days. Whatever. We were already preparing to move in 10 days. What's it matter if it's the first property or the second? And so we got exactly what we needed. I didn't feel like we lost out on a farm. No, I mean, we weren't buying it. We didn't lose out on anything except maybe a headache, because that's a pain in the ass, like back and forth. Like, what the fuck? You keep tacking on more shit. I don't think so. I don't want to live with someone like that. I don't want to. I don't want to. Whatever's for you will always be for you. No one else can take it from you. Even when they try, they can't take it from you, because what is for you is strictly only for you. When you push away the things that your soul is trying to give you, it's not going to be given to someone else. It's simply going to sit and wait for another opportunity to circle back around and present you the offer, hoping that when it circles back around, you will have reached a level of maturity that you can accept, you can embrace, you can take in what you're being offered by your soul. It'll be okay. You attract the things that you deserve, including the challenging situations that help you to learn in a much more elevated, much more profound manner. You attract that to you. No, it's not because you're drama. It's not because you have bad luck. It's because you're being invited by your soul to learn something very profound in a very nuanced way. Right? I was like, motherfuckers. I was using curse words at that point. Like, motherfuckers, you adding up 1,500? Fine. But it's really this thing of trying to create what I knew I wasn't ready to do. Right? Because I know every, I don't know, my soul has me moving a lot. A lot. We're all sick of it. I'm going to be honest, we're all sick of it. But that's the thing. Understanding that even though we're sick of it, it's whatever is needed. Whatever my soul asks of me is what we need, what will benefit us the most, right? Even when it's inconvenient. Invoke the Orphan in reverse. Don't let your fear convince you to manifest situations where you need elevated protection. Don't do it. I think that's the trap. Hold on. Yep. That's the trap. All right. Shadow work in reverse. For some, the shadow work that you think you're doing is actually not shadow work. It's more of you taking the opportunity to better hide the things you've already hidden in your shadows. Soul journey, you're about to enter into one. That journey is going to give you clarity, and it's going to prevent dark interference from playing a part, right? So, playing a part in what? Yeah. Receiving sigil. Allow yourself to receive the very things you need. What do you need? Your soul knows, even if you don't. Your soul knows, even if you don't. Okay? Whatever it is you need, you're going to be receiving it very, very soon. For some, it's about natural endings that will help you to rebirth your magic. Any type of rebirth is messy, chaotic, full of pain, discomfort, uncertainty. Okay? Be ready. Be ready. I have had hella kids. I have had hella kids. Natural birth, unmedicated. You'd think that after the first couple, it'd be like easy peasy. No. Each one, as I go into labor, actually, even before I go into labor, each one, as I enter into the third trimester, I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Girl, you're going to do it. Not only can you do it, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And maybe that's how you need to see things. That as you're going through the difficulties that are teaching you so much about your strength and your capability, you remind yourself Remind yourself, I'm doing this. Not I can do it. I'm doing this. I'm actively doing this. On days where I don't want to work out and I'm still there at the gym and I kind of want to just quietly walk my way to the front of the gym, have a seat in the waiting area, and not let my husband know that I've stopped working out, what do? I tell myself over and over, you're doing it. You're doing it. You're already doing it. Finish it off. For every set, in every exercise, until I stop with, oh, I just want to quit. Just because you want to quit doesn't mean you have the luxury of quitting. Just because you want to quit does not mean you have the luxury of quitting. If you're going to quit, your abundance is not going to come in. Aren't you tired of suffering? You tired of struggle? Start acting like it. Okay? If you are tired of the struggle, if you are tired of how you keep doing the same thing and you keep having the same life filled with the same struggles, you got to do something different. You got to start acting like you are done struggling. You have to. You have to, because if not, again, your abundance does not come in. Your actions and your emotions regarding abundance is what will determine how effective you are in bringing that abundance in. So when your actions don't line up with your desire for abundance, an example of this, this one's an obnoxious example, but that's okay. You want to win the lotto. You want to win the lotto. You want to manifest winning the $1 billion winning. But your ass don't go to the gas station to get the lotto ticket. Mofo, you not winning no lotto. You're not. I'm sorry. You're not going to magically find the winning ticket that's been dropped out of someone's pocket. You gotta play the lotto if you want to win the lotto. You want a new job? You got to look for the new job. You got to send feelers out. You got to put yourself out there. You got to ask people questions. People, hey, you know anyone hiring? Because someone isn't just going to magically come up to you, not knowing, you not verbalizing that you want a new job and offer you a new job. Like, that's not how it works. You want to get healthy, but you refuse to do the work. You refuse to make the dietary modifications. You're not going to be healthy. That's just, Ooh. I'm on a water fast and the only thing I want is to eat. Get a cup of water. Get a mouthful. Chew it before you swallow. I just realized I haven't eaten today. I can do a water fast. It's going to be a tea fast. I haven't eaten yet. I just realized that. Okay. This is what you do, Rainbow Flames. There you go. There you go. That's how we do. Let me get a final card. Here. I think for my process, once I hit day 3 or maybe day 2, I was depressed. I don't know. Yeah, no. I think it was I think it was day 2. All my hunger completely was gone. All my hunger. I had 0 hunger pangs. I had 0, 0, what do you call it? I was just, I don't know. But yeah, for that time, I was able to water fast for 14 days. 14 days. It was lovely. It was involuntary water fasting. I told you I was depressed, like clinically depressed. So, someone's like, oh my God, how can you laugh about that? Well, did you want me to cry? I was depressed. Yeah, I found the humor in it. The experience is done. It wasn't a horrible experience. So there's nothing for me to cry about. I mean, I don't know. I don't take myself that seriously. It's not that serious. I mean, I got really skinny. Like, I looked emaciated for a while. As my husband proclaimed one day, you're so skinny that your teeth look too big for your head. Motherfucker. What you say me? What you say me? Yeah, no, he said that. It was hilarious. I was cracking up. I was. I found that hilarious. I did look like a bobblehead. It wasn't intentional though, so it's not like I was punishing myself. I had no appetite. All right, here goes the final card. All right. Card number 13. Arise. Look at that. Arise. Ooh. Wings of hope languish from lack of use. When wings dissipate and weaken, life begins to lose its value. Every cell in your body is created to rise to challenges. Your life is meant to confront everything that holds you captive. Don't sit at the bottom of the well, not caring about the situation. Listen to the voice within calling to you. Reach for eminence beyond your own maturity. There's this part. Every cell in your body is created to rise to challenge. I mean, how powerful is that? Your life is meant to confront everything that holds you captive. That's potent. I dance before you in sacred spectacle, hoping to garner your attention. Look at me, I cry to your ailing spirit and despondent flesh. Look at me. If you were to look up, you would see that I'm a mirror of your own being, your light, your heart, your spirit, your all. Yes, there is pain. Yes, there's a letting go taking place, and you are frightened and uncertain. But you make this mean something that it does not. It means that you are to turn your head away from what is dying. Do this gently but firmly. Turn your head towards what is living. Look at me. I will show you truth, and you shall laugh your deepest belly laughter with so much glee, sharing in my secret that the only force at work in your life is unconditionally loving divinity. So, something comes forward as I read this part, this part of you are to turn your head away from what is dying. Turn your head towards what is living. And I get reminded. I came across a video of someone who has a young dog, and I guess they have chickens, and the dog continues to try and play with the chickens, and it ends up killing them. And not aggressively, but they couldn't get this young dog to stop. And so someone suggested you take one of the chickens that they've accidentally unalived and you turn it into a necklace. You don't process it or anything like that. You take rope and you dangle it from the dog's neck. And I was like, that is disgusting. What in the world? So, of course, I had to go in the comments and I was reading person after person after person, like, yep, that'll for sure cure them of that. Because as that carcass begins to rot, and the dog knows what it did, it knows that it played with it. As it begins to rot, they are forced to face the consequence of action. They are forced day in and day out to witness and live through and learn what they should not do again. So they said to leave that there until it decomposes to the degree that it falls off them naturally. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. That's disgusting, my personal opinion, but I hear it's very effective. I hear that never again do those dogs from other owners make chickens into their toys. So, reading this again, it means that you are to turn your head away from what is dying. But if you do that, you rob yourself of the gravity of the lesson. Face it head on. Face it head on. Look at it directly. Allow yourself to be fully present in your process. Look at me. I will show you truth, and you shall laugh your deepest belly laughter with so much glee, sharing in my secret that the only force at work in your life is unconditionally loving divinity. I see in you a divine wild child and sacred heart. You have gumption, chutzpah, guts. You dare to love where others only see pain. You dare to believe that everything will somehow work out where others see only what they judge to be wrong. You see love where others ply fear. You seek freedom where the world still buys into manipulation and propaganda. Don't lose heart, beloved wild child. Dare to believe. You are right to do so. It's the divine rebel in you that refuses to surrender hope. Give up the fight, perhaps, the battle that comes from a place of fear, but never give up your hope. That hope in your heart, that optimism and patience for growth into love creates a light within you that helps the world see through darkness. It becomes a candle that shimmers contentedly upon the windowsill of your heart temple. There it is, more obvious even in darkness. I'd say even more so the darker it gets. The stars do appear to shine brighter at night, but don't become consumed by your nightmares. They will pass with the coming dawn, you'll see. Give them too much stock. Don't give them too much stock. Instead, put your attention towards that defiant candle of hope that burns, as is its nature and purpose within you. Can you sense its warmth even in the presence of cold fear? It shall warm you now, and if not, then I come to remind you, you are a blazing angel. You are filled with holy fire and shall prevail. You know, to see yourself even as that sacred flame on that holy candle, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough because the reality of the gravity of you is that you are a divine inferno, capable of being harnessed to sustain the globe or to burn it all down. It depends on how you choose to apply your divinity. The joy of you, the expanse of you, you fill my own heart with your magnificent essence. I see and know the great beloved in you. There the great beloved is, looking out at me from behind your eyes. I see the candlelight of your heart temple flicker within your gaze. That is what the candle of hope honors, the workings of the great beloved, so creative and crazed with love for you. that all circumstances of your life, down to the tiniest detail, are evoked out of love. Love out of passionate desire takes you from despair into hope, from holding on to letting go, from turning away to opening up. So the great beloved takes you across the moonlit ocean into the temple of the cosmic heart. Here, an eternal flame burns bright with hope, igniting the light within the hearts of all of humanity. You are being asked to trust, to gently lay to rest the suffering that has been, perhaps because of what you have labeled as a failure, the doubt, the losses, and setbacks. They are so little in the greater scheme of you. Put them aside. Allow them to rot and become fertilizer for life, but do not try to keep them alive beyond their earthly expiry date, lest you become tainted or poisoned by the rot. Let them go and instead focus on what is alive now. Can you sense that before you is a great being of light, a greater pathway opening up? This is truth, blazing angel. This is truth. Take the step. So easy is it when the light of the heart is felt within, reminding you of your own divine nature. The world is here for you to experience so that you may realize divinity in its majesty, mystery, and love, more so than ever. All serves that sacred purpose, so embrace it. Find your faith, be at peace. Know that no matter what appears to be, all is well. You are so loved, it cannot even begin to be translated sufficiently into words, but it can be transmitted from my heart to yours, just as the sun catches dried tinder and sets it aflame. This oracle comes with a message for you. Arise. You have been downtrodden for long enough now. Perhaps you have been feeling defeated, put upon, underestimated, or walked over in mind, body, or spirit by others or your own doubts and fears. Enough now. You are liberated through the hope in your heart, the defiant optimism that buoys your spirit and demands that you shall have your dream. You shall rise like the sun and begin anew now. Step up. It's your time. It's your time to rise. It is your time to rise. It is your time to create. It is your time to step into your rightful place. It is your time. What you do with your time is up to you. So choose wisely. Choose with compassion what you need to experience rather than what you want to experience and you know you will not be allowed to experience, right? Life was never designed to be easy. Life was designed to be lived, to challenge you to rise to the challenge of being present in such a dense space. You're going to be fine. We're all going to be fine. Literally. We're all going to be fine. There's going to be quite a few of us who's going to think we're not fine. I promise you we're fine. And not as a lie of pretending you're fine, right? No. I mean actually fine. So, what situation in your life have you not overcome? You've gotten through everything. Literally everything. You've gotten through everything. Your perception, though, that might convince you that you failed multiple times. Yeah, I don't think so. You've gotten through everything that your life has brought to you. Everything. What's the difference between then and now? Nothing outside of me telling you you've already gotten through everything. You'll continue to get through everything else too. But now that you're aware, you can get through everything else with minimal complaining, minimal distortions in your perception of what you're living through. You're not being forced to live through anything. You're being invited to rise beyond the circumstance that has caused you to believe that you need to settle for what that circumstance is. Huge difference. Huge, huge difference. So let yourself note the differences and choose the path that makes you feel happy again. The path that allows your abundance to come back in. The path that sets you free from the pain you've endured for how long? Just because you've endured pain does not mean it was forced on you. That's the harsh reality. A lot of the things I allowed myself to suffer through for so long, I chose the suffering because I did not know it was an option to not suffer. So if you were to ask me now, do I suffer? No. Do I struggle? Depends where my mind is. Is life perfect? It's perfect in the way that it's meant to be. Perfect in human definition? Probably not. Well, what's lacking? Not a damn thing. Oh, it's because you're rich? Actually, no. I'm not. It's perfect in the way it's meant to be. For me to learn and have the opportunity to grow and expand my perception, my awareness to the degree that prepares me for the purpose I'm designed to fulfill. Do I suffer? Never. Do I get frustrated? Fuck yeah. Do I get angry? Hell yeah. Do I get back in control of my emotions? Because I recognize that those intense feelings are bringing my attention to where wounds still exist. Yeah. Yes. Is there anything in my life that I cannot handle? Given enough time, effort, and clarity? No. I will always find a way through. But Emmy, what if an army waits for you? I hope they've said their prayers and said goodbye to their families. Because they're not challenging me. They're challenging the will of divinity itself. I am merely an expression of it. You got to start realizing what backs you up. Y'all, I'm not ballsy just because I'm ballsy. I'm ballsy because God gave me big etheric testicles. It's true. It's true. I didn't choose my testicular size. It's true. Divinity has your back. You make it hard for divinity to support you when you keep rejecting what it gives you in its attempt to support. So human of us to think we know better than divinity itself. So human of us to think that we know what we need more than our own soul. I'm pretty sure my soul knows more than me. I'm pretty sure whatever it is my soul wants of me, whether I agree or not, it's always what's best for me. And so the problem is not me solving the challenge of how I'm going to override the will of my soul. I can't outdo my soul. I just can't. It's a tenacious mofo there. My soul is tenacious. I'll never win that. I know I won't. I know that for a fact. So, guys, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. Join me when I'm live. I'll see y'all again very soon. Oh my God. I don't know. Maybe I'll do expedites today. It's already 3. Maybe I'll do them tomorrow. Either way, I will open up the link for expedites. If I eat, I'll do it tonight. If I don't eat, y'all don't want none of that. you want to give me a few hours to percolate and mellow out. The hangry is potent in this child of God. All right, guys, have an amazing rest of your day. If I don't see you tonight, I hope I see you tomorrow. Please don't forget to sign my petition. For those who are unaware, this petition is to help restrict what I'm attempting to do is restrict the international travel of my stalker. I don't know what the most recent set of threats are. I do believe, I know, it's just, I do believe they do still email daily threats. I'm not sure. Yeah, I just can't be bothered. I can't. I have so many beautiful things to be thankful about and to achieve that I can't. But what I'm trying to do with these petition signatures is approach the United States Embassy as well as the Swiss Embassy to restrict their international travel. There's been a lot of threats, a lot of really racist AF statements, you know. They apparently don't like melanated people too. Yeah. They hate women. They hate the melanated. Asians are a fetish, so fucking disgusting. Anyways, sign the petition so we can ground the clown. And in addition to that, I love you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for the support, for all of you who have signed, all of you who have shared out the petition. For those who, I guess there was a feature where, and I wasn't aware of this, where you could promote the petition and people were able to give like a few bucks, whatever amount you said, I guess, because there's all different amounts, and it expands the reach of the petition. Y'all don't have to do that. Just share it out on social media. Don't spend money on it. I'm sorry. Don't spend money on that. But I do appreciate the support. I appreciate the sentiment. I love you guys so much. You guys have helped me get through so much utter fuckery. It's ridiculous, but at the same time, laughable. We're unstoppable. All of us together. We're unstoppable. We're unfuckwithable. It's okay for us to know that. It's okay for us to celebrate it. It's okay for us to use our power as a group to protect our group. All of that is okay. All of it is okay. I love you guys. I'll see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.